Well, folks, we've got a new patch coming to Hearthstone. It's 23.2. This, of course, brings the Rise of the Naga Battlegrounds update that we've been talking about over the last few days and seeing all those cards for. Also brings some changes to Mercenary, some new features being added to the game, some quality of life stuff that I think we've needed desperately for years, essentially. Just going to make your Hearthstone life a little better across the board. Some big bug fixes. I've also got an update on Arena that's not in these patch notes, but got tweeted out, which is, I think, really good news for Arena players. And then one significant omission, perhaps, which is no constructed balance changes. Not that they are necessarily expected in .2 patches. That's not typical, but were they needed? Perhaps. There's a lot of Drekthar ire in particular out there. So we'll talk about that a little more at the end of the video. First, we're going to run through the highlights of these 23.2 patch notes. So, of course, this is the Naga patch for Battlegrounds, and I already did review videos on all the new cards that were revealed so far, so I'm not going to run through these in great detail in this video. I did just want to walk through the general updates here, the kind of overarching highlights. So, Battlegrounds ratings will be reset, as is normal. Buddies will be leaving Battlegrounds. If you didn't hear that already, that is double confirmed, and I think ultimately that's probably a good change to freshen things up. The cost to upgrade to Tavern Tier 5 has been reverted back to 9 gold, so it'll be a little bit faster to push to 5 than in the Buddies meta. A little quality of life change. You can see the next stage of hero powers that advance, like with the new Queen Ashara, for instance. And then a little bit of text change here just to make cards a little bit tidier, it sounds like, but no mechanical or functional changes. So here we've got all the new Naga stuff. Again, I ran through all this in great detail. Pretty cool looking set. Spellcraft looks fun. It's going to be hard, maybe, I think. A lot of little challenging mechanics to understand, but still looks really fun. We got Leroy joining the fray. That's going to be awesome. So really excited to try these out tomorrow. Of course, I'll be giving all this stuff a look. As always, for the first few days, Battlegrounds changes come out. We've also got minion pool changes. Now, some of these I've heard, some I hadn't. For instance, Champion of Yasharaj is leaving alongside all these other ones we had been teased otherwise. Deadly Spore, Amalgadon, Slinger, and Flat Tusk. Amalgam is back. Nightmare Amalgam's back. Bristleback Knight is also back. I kind of forgot he was gone. Looks like he might be getting an attack buff, as I recall, as well. I think he used to be smaller, but maybe 5 attack instead of 4. Sounds right. Also, some armor updates. Again, I'm not going to run through all these, but these are the armor changes for given heroes right now. I like playing these 10 armor ones, you know. Give me the bottom of the barrel stuff. I'm going to make it work. And then we've got some Mercenaries updates. I am definitely not going to go all through these because I just don't know the context very well for Mercenaries right now. I'm glad Mercenaries is still getting updates. There's been some really nice changes to Mercenaries. I may go check it out eventually if they ever solve out the coin problem. But for now, I'm not going too deep into Mercenaries. But N'Zoth Event and N'Zoth Mercenary joining the Mercenaries lineup. N'Zoth sounds pretty fun as a mercenary. I guess he's also an old god type, which we haven't seen before, which might indicate more old gods could be joining the party in Mercenaries. Sounds like some pretty cool attacks. Of course, I'll drop a link in the description if you want to go see Mercenary stuff and read through all this. Not sure it's good content to just read this text for 10 minutes, so we'll keep rolling through. Blink Fox getting a change, some changes to Anduin's equipment, a lot of different ability changes, Rathorian and Manaroth. I'm sure some of these are going to be buffs and sort of rebalances of sorts. Also, a new zone, Darkshore, is coming to Mercenaries, and along with Darkshore bounties, of course. And then this is fun. We'll definitely participate in this. The Heroic Brawliseum is back on May 18th for 1 week. You can join the Heroic Brawliseum. Now, I'll be honest, I don't recommend this to anybody. It's super expensive. You're not expected to get good rewards unless you're very good at Hearthstone. For people like me who get turned into videos, makes a little bit more sense. I can kind of beat my head against this and have some fun. Regular players, this is usually an awful experience for you. If you get a free ticket, maybe, I don't know how that works, but try that one. But I can't recommend you spend your gold or money on this. Typically a terrible return on investment for a vast majority of people, but can still be very, very fun trying to hit these crazy 12-win rewards. Like 50 packs is completely insane. All right, so next up are some new game features, and these are pretty exciting, and they actually wrote an entire blog post dedicated just to this. Let's hop over there. New features coming soon. Number 1, upgrade to Golden. They've been teasing this one for a really long time, so Essentially, this allows you to make golden cards for cheaper because you only need the dust difference. So instead of there, for instance, needing 1,600 for the chum bucket, you'd only need 1,200, which is the difference from 16 and 400 for a golden epic. So if you have some really targeted golden cards you're looking for, want to finish off a deck, or just really love a card, this makes that a lot cheaper and easier because you don't have to start with a totally duplicate card and kind of lose the disenchant value on the original half if that's what you're trying to do. So good change there. We've also got share deck codes in chat, and I haven't even seen this yet, but it sounds awesome. Basically, in the in-game chat, you can just paste a deck code and it'll be like clickable. Ah, there you go. Warrior deck. Whoa, Nelly, click to copy. Okay, that's cool. I don't know how many people are going to be using that all that often, but makes it easier to swap decks. If you friend somebody on ladder, have a friend who wants to see your cool deck. So good change there. And then favorite multiple card backs. So instead of just having like a random selection of card backs, you can select multiple favorites, and then you'll only select randomly among those favorites, as I understand it. I didn't read this to double confirm, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works. And I think they tease that they want to do that for heroes as well, which is definitely what I want to see. I want to get a random portrait button personally, but apparently that one was a little bit harder. Also teased that there are going to be more quality of life changes as well in the future. So love little stuff like this, kind of tidying up the client, just making life better overall. Back to the patch notes proper, they're going to be reselling or freshly selling the mini sets in golden. They're going back to here Wailing Caverns and Dead Mines, it seems, for those mini sets. You can buy those in gold if you're a high roller and want to show off some gold stuff. You can do that. For most of us, this is not relevant. I don't even buy these golden things. I'm too cheap for those personally, but it's fine. I don't mind them adding additional cosmetics to the game, as long as they're not monetizing the base play experience, extra stuff like this, whatever. Maybe it'll make other things cheaper. We can at least hope. And then finally, a lot of bug fixes here. So for instance, Nelly and Queen Ashara bugs that have been haunting us since the release of the expansion seem to finally have been fixed. I'll say this took too long. Not that anybody wanted it to take that long, I'm sure, but we still have to acknowledge this took too long, but glad that it's finally changed. There are a lot of other little changes. There were a ton, for instance, with Mercenaries in particular. There were a couple I didn't even know were bugs that were interesting, but all in all, good to see all of these things changed. So the other thing I wanted to talk about came out in a tweet last night from Hearthstone dev Matt London, and that's that Arena is getting looked at. Didn't make it into this patch, but there will be some changes coming in the near future. Namely, the implemented Arena changes include micro adjustments to boost several low win rate classes. That's desperately needed in standard, frankly, but in Arena as well. A reduction in appearance rate of overperforming cards and the removal of several build-around cards that lack support in the format. The results of these changes have been positive in internal testing. That doesn't mean everything will be perfect. The modes team is new to this job, and we are committed to keeping at it until we get it right. Arena changes will go live in a hotfix shortly after the release of 23.2, so you don't have to wait too long if you're looking for some Arena love. And it reads, Arena players are some of the most engaged, passionate, and longest tenured Hearthstone players we have. We want to provide them with the best-in-class experience. Thanks for sticking with us. So this isn't too noteworthy in its own right. Like, this is the sort of stuff we've seen before in Arena. But ultimately, this is showcasing more of attention to detail, more going into Arena. So I think you can expect more regular and perhaps bigger changes in Arena in the future based on what I'm hearing here. It sounds like they're trying their best to actually spend some love and energy on Arena, which I don't think always got it in the past. Matt even goes on to give Wild players a little bit of a teaser as well. It's been refreshing to finally feel heard as a Wild player, says 6J, and I'm eager to see everything your team is planning. We're planning a lot. Hold on to your decks. So this modes team that I believe handles things like duels and Tavern Brawls is also getting involved in Arena and Wild, and sounds like some good changes might be on the way. So a little bit of hope there if you're playing some of those perhaps less regularly played game modes. Now, finally, I just want to drop a note that I know a lot of people will be disappointed that there aren't balance changes in this patch. And I get it. Right now, Demon Hunter is running rampant over the ladder. It's both pretty darn good from a win rate standpoint, often stands sort of alone right now, depending on your rank in particular. for competitiveness, but also it's just really popular and kind of tiresome to play against. So I think people are looking for more regular updates that freshen up the meta, that shuffle things around a little bit in regards to the top decks and the most popular decks. And I sympathize with that. I get it. I agree with you. I think it often takes too long for balance changes to hit. And I know there's all kinds of behind the scenes stuff that goes into patches, and there are enormous amounts of work. And sometimes they require a lot of lead time, so it's hard to kind of read the meta and make changes in time to hit the patch. I understand why these things don't happen, but I think there need to be better systems in place to more quickly adapt and adjust the balance of the meta to make things feel alive and, you know, attended to basically in constructed formats. So I just wanted to acknowledge that, you know, if you were hoping for balance changes and aren't seeing any, you're probably not alone. I actually totally agree with you. I wish we got more as well. I don't know when the next round of balance changes will be here, but hopefully sooner rather than later, and hopefully a card like Drekthar does not just continue to dominate the meta with absurd mulligan win rates and I think pretty awful play patterns. That said, I didn't mean to end on a negative note. There's a lot of cool stuff here, particularly for Battlegrounds folks. So hopefully a good patch overall. And I'm looking forward to a lot of the stuff in this one. So share your thoughts on this patch in the comments below. Thanks much as always for watching. And until next time, game on.